be longer. So I figured, number one, we would just catch up and talk about what we've been up to. Number two, I got that giveaway for the Escudo watch, and we'll pick a winner for that as well. Yeah, so that's it basically. Hopefully, we got some people tuning in here to check it out. I do want everyone to know. Probably, I don't know. I'll wait 5 or 10 minutes before doing the giveaway to get a few more people to come in, because you have to go watch that video and leave a comment. It's the original review video for the Escudo watch. You got to go click on that, leave a comment, because I'll be picking one of the comments from that video. So I'll put a link in the chat. So if anyone hasn't gone to that video yet and left a comment, you'll get a chance to do that. In the meantime, AB, what have you been up to, buddy? Give us an update. I know it's been forever since we've gotten on here and chatted.
Well, I think it's been more than a year, honestly. That's why when you said it's been like my co-host as usual, I was gonna say, can we even say that anymore? We haven't been doing this for a while, but honestly, I did miss it. I've been stupid busy. Even on my channel, I barely post anything, which is wrong. I really want to keep going, but it's been really hard lately in a good way. Good stress is good. Working is good, but it's actually kind of nice to be back and just relax and talk watches. Quite frankly, I was telling Guy that we should be very honest here. We have, besides the fact that we're going to be doing that giveaway, or Guy will, we have no topic in mind. I think we're just going to catch up and hopefully get the comment from you guys that will get us kind of rolling.
Yeah, I just wanted to catch up with you, and yeah, if people have any comments or questions, maybe they'll have some I don't know, some good topics for discussion. But yeah, it's pretty informal. It's not a big deal. Let's see, who do we got here joining us so far today? Foster D, Junior Johnson, fellow hello guy from Miami. Hey buddy, how's it going? He also says hello to you. I don't know if you're reading the comments there, AB, or not. We got Sean Cummins, BJ. Hello, hey BJ, thanks for joining us. It looks like we've got I don't know, a couple dozen people so far. So listen, guys, part of this is for the Escudo watch giveaway, and if you have not watched that video, you don't have to watch the whole video now, but I just put a link in the chat. You do have to go leave a comment on that video, because I'm going to be picking the winner from the comments. So click that link, just go leave a comment, say hi guy, say whatever if you want to be included in the giveaway. 5 or 10 minutes, we'll go ahead and we will do a selection and pick a winner. But yeah, click that link for the giveaway and leave a comment on that video. I don't want anyone that's actually here to miss out.
Can I enter?
Yeah, sure, if you want to, go right ahead. I don't mind.
Okay, let's I just shared the link, so hopefully we'll get as many people as possible, so a lot of people can have a chance. But tell me, I've never actually heard of that brand before. Is it
So let me pull the watch out here, and my camera's not super well set up to do any like detailed look at it or whatever, but I was really super impressed with this. This is a micro brand, and as I'm sure you know, I mentioned this in the review video. Not a day goes by where I don't get an email from, never mind watch brands, all kinds of crazy brands that do phone apps, brands that sell fashion accessories and fragrances, like constantly. Hey, do you want to put your product on our channel? 99 times out of 100, I just ignore them. I do look at them just to see if it's something interesting. But anyway, this brand reached out to me, Escudo, and they asked if I wanted to check out one of their watches, and I looked at their website, and I really liked the way it looked online. So I said, yeah, sure, send me one and I'll check it out. I was super impressed with it. In a lot of ways, it is very much, well, maybe in just one way, it's kind of like a Tudor Black Bay 58 sort of homage almost, in that the case shape is very much like a Black Bay, and it's sized at 39 millimeters. For a diver, that's a great size in my opinion. But other than that, it is quite a bit different in terms of the dial and the bezel and everything else. So there we go. I finally got it out of its packaging. Let me know if this will focus.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's not a great look at it, but But yeah, that's the watch. Somebody is going to be getting this. I really liked it. They're a little bit expensive, but I mean, good micro brands, like Monta, for example, they're kind of expensive. They're $1,500. Some of them are upwards of $2,000. This is in that kind of $1,500 price range. It's not a really affordable micro brand, but it's really nice. I was super impressed with it.
Is it 9015 or is it ETA? Is it the
Salida,
Swiss?
Salida SW 200-1, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's not a Miyota. It's not a Seiko movement. It's, I mean, I think Salitas are good. I've never had any issues with them at all. So yeah, let's see.
Good. It looks pretty good. I've never seen it before. I've never experienced it before, but with micro brands, I'm starting to feel like even 1500 compared to the stuff at a tier above. Honestly, micro brands now we can kind of say or know who's going to be here and who's not. I feel like they're delivering a lot more than a lot of the more expensive brands, specifically Tudor. Don't hate me, guys, but I really don't like what they've been doing. But when you can get a Monta, for half the price, if you can get this dive watch, I've never seen it, so I can't speak on it. But even 1500 isn't insane. It's still a good value.
I mean, there's there's like two tiers, right? There's the $500 and under micro brands like I don't know, Baltic. That's a really great one, and they're fairly affordable, right? And then there's this like next tier of micro brands that kind of comes in under the Oris and the Tudors and the Omegas of the world. And I'm seeing a lot of really good stuff from that tier of micro brand, at least for the stuff that I have bothered to look at. There might be some stuff that's not great. I don't know. One more quick update though. I'm going to put that comment back in the or that link back in the comments. If you want to be a part of this giveaway, you have to click on that link and leave a comment on that video, because I'm going to be picking the winner from the list of comments very shortly here. Just so everyone is aware, a few more people have joined the stream since I posted that link. Let's look at a couple of quick comments here from the audience, and then we'll do that giveaway, and then we're going to catch up. I have some questions for AB. He might have some questions for me. Hopefully you guys have questions for both of us, and we can all just kind of have a conversation. Adrian Smith, and if it looks like I'm not addressing the camera, my screen is over here, so I apologize if it looks like I'm not paying attention to you guys directly. I'm sorry. Adam Smith says he was super excited when he saw the title. Two great presenters. For a question, how do you guys feel about the position micro brands hold, and how will a recession affect those companies? Wow, that's a crazy one.
That's a loaded question, dude.
I'm gonna pass that one to AB. You get to field this one, buddy.
That's a loaded question, but honestly, I think micro brands. So I don't know. Running ticking way, basically, I noticed something is that with the recent crash of the market, it's not really a crash, but we can get into that if you guys want me to. But essentially, people still
how about we call it like a decline?
A decline. Well, there was crashes. Like the Nautilus was a freaking crash. If you call a $225,000 watch to about 110, a decline, that's being candid, but realistically, on the high end side, it's very similar to the sort of entry level. In my opinion, people never, or from what I can see, people never stopped buying things that were special, and micro brands do create things that are special, and so do, some higher end brands, independents, and so on. In my opinion, the way the recession will affect these companies is not necessarily, of course, a lot of people won't be able to buy these things. So in terms of sales, it's a given. Everybody's going to get hurt, not just micro brands, everybody. But I think when a recession happens, and also a lot of other factors, the problem will be basically supply. Like producing these watches will be a major problem for these brands. Especially when you have a lot of companies that are unable to produce certain things, you're unable to buy certain things. There's a lot of factors that goes into this. That's why I said it's such a loaded question. And obviously we don't want to get too much into politics, but the only thing I noticed, at least on my end, that I can speak about factually is during the stock market crash 2 months ago or 3 months ago. That's basically what kind of spiked everything, right? From my end, customers didn't want to spend money on watches because everybody's scared. They saw the stock market, the crypto market crashed like crazy. And so that sort of affected a lot of things. But then what it created is, I'm not going to call it a crash, I guess. I'm going to take my words back, but a correction, right?
Correction.
And with all corrections, stock market, the watch market, it's relatively healthy. To answer that question, how will micro brands get affected? I mean, I cannot say for a fact, but I believe that it will flush out a lot of brands who aren't in it for the love of watches. So there's a few micro brands that I can say for a fact they're here to stay, right? Baltic, Etienne over there, phenomenal guy. And you speak to him, you can tell the passion, right? Elshon from Zealous. Certain micro brands like that have essentially kind of made themselves, I wouldn't even call them micro brands anymore, but those are the ones that are going to survive. If a recession happens, I think it will affect the micro brand world, but it won't. It will just clean out all of the brands who just want quick cash, in my opinion.
That makes sense. I'm gonna go ahead and just agree with that, and not even put my stamp on it, because honestly, it's like way above my pay grade. I don't know economics and everything, man. That's crazy stuff. But I will field a couple more of these quick questions, and everybody, don't forget to click my link that I put in chat so that you can comment on that video, so that you can be eligible for the giveaway. Just a few minutes from now, we are going to be doing that. Junior Johnson has some weather coming his way. Hopefully he won't lose service. We got some storms here. I'm down in South Florida, so I'm kind of hoping I don't lose service also.
I don't know whether coming here, but I'm assuming maybe.
Here we go. Nile says, will AB get a haircut so we can see that Jorn behind him?
There you go. There you go. Can't afford the real thing, so I had to get the painting of it. So cool though. Look, it's piece unique. Bet you Jorn doesn't have that.
Adam replies to your commentary there that he couldn't have asked for a better response. Thank you. And he also thinks Monta will survive. I mean, I agree. I think Monta's great. I think they're kind of well positioned to be not a high end, like super high end luxury watch, but like high end for micro brands, or, maybe some people don't like saying micro brand. You want to call it an independent. I don't know where that line of differentiation exists. What's an independent brand versus a micro brand? We know what we're talking about, though. So yeah,
I would think so too. I think Monta's gonna survive. They're always sold out. Zealous, as long as Elshon keeps kind of coming up with things, he's not afraid to do things. That's what I like about Zealous. Baltic, same thing. Baltic has been doing amazing things. Eventually, some of their lower end things, like their Miyota movements and that Chinese micro rotor, eventually I hope to see them kind of venture out of that. But they're always moving forward, and I like that. A lot of these other micro brands, they just kind of figured out, here's a good design, here's a pretty basic freaking movement, and be happy with it. Here, just pay this. Those are the ones who, personally, I don't even support. And if a recession kind of cleans them out, then so be it.
Here's a question, fellow. I missed it, but in looking back, I see. He says, is Christopher Ward a micro brand? Then again, I'm gonna say, like, what's micro brand, what's independent brand? It's kind of could theoretically be one and the same. I'm gonna say yes. I think they are. I kind of feel like anything that's not part of a conglomerate, that's not part of Swatch Group or any of those other big conglomerates, Seiko and Orient, in the more affordable range, like, I'm gonna say, like, yeah, it's an independent or it's a micro brand. And what is the difference? I mean, we could split hairs over what the difference is, but that's my thoughts on it. What do you think?
I think Christopher Ward have become so big, it's hard for me to call them a micro brand. The way I differentiate micro brand and independent is just a hypothetical thought in my head as to how big they are, right? I don't have their numbers, I don't know how much they're actually making, but Christopher Ward, I feel, are exactly like Oris, and I would say they compete with Oris. You know, Oris is also not part of a big, big group like Swatch Group, Richemont, or whatever that we know of, at least. They're independent. They're an independent brand. Obviously, the distinction with independent goes to whether they're independently run or if it's independent or an independent watchmaker. With Christopher Ward, I wouldn't categorize them as micro brand. I think they're a tier above that because of the sheer volume and what they're creating. I think they compete directly with Oris. In terms of watches, I think they're absolute quality. I think the name is stupid. You know, I don't like the name, to be honest with you, but I can say their watches are quality and their marketing is the worst I've seen in the industry. The
Here's
absolute worst.
so here's an important distinction. If a brand actually makes a product or if a brand just markets a product, right? So let's take what's that goofy MVMT brand? You remember that craze a couple of years ago? Was that the name of it? MVMT, right? They made like the
Are
cheap
we talking about the cheap quartz watches?
Yeah, they made cheap quartz watches, right? They weren't making anything. All their watches were made in China and imported, but they were a marketing brand. And I think that's kind of an important distinction when you have this discussion on, are you an independent watch brand or are you a micro brand? I don't think micro brands typically make anything. They design things, you know, they sit in front of the computer with a designer, come up with ideas for what are my hands going to look like and what is the dial going to look like, but it's all outsourced as far as manufacturing, and then they just do the marketing and the sales. I
Yeah.
think that that's probably also needs to be part of the conversation as to what is a distinction between a micro brand and an independent watchmaker slash brand.
It's kind of hard to be fully integrated though at those prices. MVMT, look, I agree with you, but I disagree. I think there's sort of independent micro brand and there's just absolute garbage. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I think you're right, but the only thing I will say is it's a hard distinction, and I feel like it might be a little unfair because to be fully integrated, I mean, Oris claims to be like basically fully integrated until they got caught. Their cases were not made, you know, fully in-house. Very few brands are actually like the definition of full of in-house is such a gray
Well,
area.
to be fair though, I don't mean 100% in-house. I mean, do they make anything?
Yeah,
Right?
okay, yeah.
Like if you make nothing except the design and the marketing, then like you're definitely on this like hazy area of
You're a
like,
micro brand.
yeah, right?
You're a
Like,
micro brand. You know, an independent brand. I would agree. Actually, okay, yeah. In that case, yeah, I would agree with you. If you're not doing anything basically, but coming up with the ideas and the marketing, then sure, I would consider that micro brand. Because, for example, a lot of these brands that we love, you know, Baltic, Zealous, and so on, highly doubt that they make anything in house. You know what I mean?
right.
Nothing, like nothing. But they bring a really good value to the market, which is what we love. You know, their biggest micro brands, their biggest competitor. We've talked about this so many times. Is Seiko. The more Seiko doesn't deliver, the more micro brands keep going and flourishing. Right. And we've
Yeah.
seen that over the years. Me and you have been doing these podcasts for what, 3 years now? I remember the first year when we were still discussing will micro brands take over. 3 years later, now, in my opinion, they've flooded the market.
Well, that's so there's a comment here from Adam Smith, and we'll talk about that. We're going to do the giveaway thing here next. So, but he talks about Seiko moving up market, and that's an escalation of why these micro brands have had a chance to flourish, because there's a gap in the market now. But let's talk about that in a minute. Let's go ahead and let's do this giveaway for the Escudo Ocean Seacrest. I know you can't see it because my camera wants to focus on my face, but if you did not leave a comment on the review for this watch, you're not going to be in the giveaway. I've put links to that review in the comments of this live stream like 5 times now. So if you missed it, I'm sorry. But we got to get that over with. So I'm going to go to this website. It's a YouTube comment picker website. It picks a comment at random. I need the link to the original video. So let me grab that. Get shareable link. So I put that in here. Filter out duplicate users. And what I want to do is I want to share my screen. so that you guys can see the results and nobody thinks that I'm doing any funny business here. I might not be able to because I'm on my new Mac and I haven't set up the permissions for screen sharing, unfortunately. Yeah, it's not going to work. Well, you're going to have to trust me that there's no funny business, and I am truly picking a comment at random. So good luck to everyone. Clicking the comment now, 3, 2, 1, and it is sorting through all of them. Where is the winner? Where's the results? Where do they post it? I haven't used this website in so long.
Talk about no funny business.
Da, da, da. All right, I'm an idiot. I can't figure out how to use this website anymore. How does the comment picker tool work? I got to read the instructions. Okay, here it is. No, that's not it. That's just
My goodness.
Oh my god, why is this so complicated? You're supposed to just click the button.
I told you you're rusty, dude.
This is insanely stupid.
Let me just research this brand. Someone commented we should take a look at.
Like, it's telling me there's 164 comments to pick from, but it's not giving me one of the comments. Like, I need a username is what I need at random.
Let's see.
All right, there it is. I found the button. All right, it is shuffling through comments, and JP is the winner. Comments, interesting watch. I like that it's no copy of a Black Beta 58. And yeah, there we go. JP. I don't know if JP is here with us today in the live stream. If he is not, hopefully he sees this video. What you're going to have to do, JP, is you're going to have to email me, justbluefish@gmail.com. Let me know that you saw this and get me your shipping information. If he does not see this for some reason in a week or so, I guess I'll pick someone else. And I don't know, I'll have to do another quick live stream to announce that. So anyone that didn't win, if you were hoping to win, you know, it's possible JP won't see it. And stay tuned. Maybe there'll be a second chance drawing. Since I did have the requirement that video was supposed to get 10,000 views to do the giveaway. It didn't. It only got about half of that. So the winner has to pay the shipping. I'm not going to foot the bill for the shipping since it didn't technically reach the goal that I was hoping for. So also if JP says, I don't want to pay for the shipping, then I'll again offer it up to somebody else. But if you want the watch and you win the giveaway, you're going to need to pay for the shipping. But congratulations to JP. I don't think that he's here. I haven't seen him in the comments yet. Hopefully, hopefully he sees this and reaches out to me. So yeah, there you go. Sorry about the confusion. I don't know why this website was so difficult to to use, but it's just commentpicker.com.
It's okay. We only lost half our viewers.
Yeah, they were like, screw this.
But okay, so I researched one of these, the brands they were recommending, and there's absolutely zero information on them. So the comment from Thomas.
Well, this is the one that I wanted to hit on. Was from Adam Smith, and he said, should Seiko continue to move upmarket and allow Orient to fill the void or will they turn off their core base? Now, I think that ship sailed, right? Like, I don't even know. I guess they had the Seiko 5 line still, and those are still $100, $200 watches, some of them anyway, aren't they? But by and large, I mean, if you want to buy a nice-ish Seiko diver, I mean, it seems like they're all $700, $800, $900, $1,000. Some of them are $1,200, right? Like, how much further up market can they move before they start stepping on their own toes? I don't really know.
I mean, they didn't successfully really move up market. Their watches aren't holding value, and quite frankly, Seiko still provides affordable watches through other brands. When you're at the $300-$400 mark, you're still getting Seiko movement in different brands. So I think they couldn't care less. I think they're making money regardless. I think they're just testing their limits. Grand Seiko had a massive increase, and then lately they decided to destroy the brand, in my opinion. So who knows? All I'll say is I think at this point Seiko they're making money anyway, and they just don't care.
Really the only major complaint I have with Seiko, and I've had this complaint with them all along. Well, so I have two. Like, number one, they're lower end watches. They're more affordable watches. Their movements and those I'm not very impressed with. I'm not pleased with. I've had plenty of problems with timekeeping and accuracy on their movements for the 6R and the 4R series movements. But other than that, it's just so many options, so many models. They came out with that one limited edition watch that was like a reissue of the 62 Moss with the 8L series movement a couple years ago. And it was like, man, why isn't this your Rolex Submariner? Why isn't this your Omega Seamaster? And they just made it just another watch. They didn't like make it special. And that's the thing. They don't have very many special watches. As far as Seiko goes, like, their most special watch is probably still the SKX, maybe the Turtle, a couple of other, similar divers. And then for Grand Seiko, it's the Snowflake, and that's it. Like, there's just nothing really super special. And it's because A, there's so much, and B, they don't market anything to be the flagship. You know what I mean? It's very bizarre.
It's not just that. To be honest with you, Grand Seiko, we're doing great. I mean, they got me talking about them every other video. Like, I love them, but it's basically what you said in a nutshell. If everything is special and limited, then nothing is. Like, every month there's a special limited edition, and at this point, the regular production watches are more limited than limited editions. That literally blows my mind. But regardless, like with Grand Seiko and Seiko, I was hopeful for Grand Seiko. I bought a bunch, this. I recommended a bunch to you, but there's a reason why I just don't want to own them anymore. And it's just because I care as a collector. Obviously, we can't ignore the finances part of this. I care when a brand cares about their future. And once you don't care about your future, you couldn't care less. You just want profit right now. I can no longer support or buy your, even if they're great watches. I'm scared to buy your watches because that you especially with Grand Seiko, I can go on and on about how many times they've screwed people over the past few years. Over the past year especially, the biggest example was the Four Seasons. The Four Seasons was a USA limited edition,
right?
Promised it for the US market. So that was something special. We looked at it and we're like, oh, look what they did for the US market. And then all over Europe and so on, I was getting a lot of calls. Hey, can you get me this? Hey, can you get me this? We can't get it here. Because of the amount of sales they were doing, they realized, oh, this is a popular model. They dropped just a little bit of an article saying, oh, by the way, it's no longer US limited edition.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like basically screw you guys. Apparently what we did is very popular, so I'm sorry, but money comes first. So here you go. Similar with Grand Seiko, like similar to other situations where Grand Seiko would basically make a limited edition of something, then make something exactly the same with just a tiny difference, and then that would be normal production. That's a brand that clearly everybody wants to make money, but clearly doesn't care about the future of their collectors.
Yeah.
As much as I'm not the biggest fan of Rolex, I can at least say that whether it's intentional or not, at least their collectors are somewhat protected with their investments when they buy something at retail.
Sure. Sure. This is that comment from Thomas. I assume you were looking for. Is that I don't even know how to pronounce that brand name, so I'm not going to try and make myself look stupid. But was that the one you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to, but then I researched it. There's literally only one watch I think they've made. I'm looking at the movement.
I've never heard of this brand. And again, I don't know how to. All right, I'll try. I'm going to look like an idiot. Larique Etude, is that right? I've never heard of that brand before. I'd have to spend some time.
I don't know, but I'm gonna give my honest opinion on basically the one page that I was able to read.
First impressions, knee-jerk reaction.
Very boring watch, and even if, as he mentioned, it was legends who came together and created the brand, they just used a base movement that they got from Agent Horror, same people who made the movement for Moser Streamliner, but in this case, it's just a time-only watch. Design is okay. The movement finishing looks decent, but Agent Horror is I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing them right. Agent Horror, whatever. They do really good finishing with their movements, but I've seen this before, and I will warn at least the audience that we have right now that just because the people behind the brands are legends doesn't mean it's a good brand. Take a brand called Stoic. You guys can Google that. It doesn't exist anymore, but you can find some stuff. I've reviewed it. Decent micro brands, but very, very basic. Like it wasn't anything crazy, anything special. It was just very basic, good watches. And the person behind that brand, I'm not gonna say it here in video because I know him, but look him up. He's was considered one of the best independents out there, and he just created that piece of crap so he could get some cash quickly. So just don't put a lot of merit to who is behind the brand, because in the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. It might just they need to fund their better brand. You know what I mean?
Here, let's not dwell on this one. But real quick, is Rolex not a marketing brand? I don't think they're a marketing brand. I think they're a solid brand. Like, yeah, they market really well, but like that's not all they are.
And they actually do make things in-house. Not all of it, but they do make things in-house, and they do everything they can to bring out solid watches. They're boring, but that's all we could say about them. To sit here and say they're not good watches would be I'd just be a hater.
All right, let's go. Keep going. Oh, Tanzil Ansari, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been making tons of videos, but hey, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it, buddy. Let's see. What else do we got here in the comments? Oh, here's all the drum roll for the giveaway stuff. Yeah, sorry, that was a total clusterfuck.
That's when we lost half our audience.
They were like, "Oh, I'm out." All right. BJ asks, interested to see options on Blancpain 50 Fathoms Bathscaph 38 millimeter and JLC Master Ultra Thin Moon. Did I do the 38 millimeter Bathscaph? I don't think I did. I did the bigger one, but I do have a video on the bigger one. My friends over at Exquisite Timepieces that loan me watches, I'm sure have that, so I could ask them to borrow one and do a video on it. They don't carry JLC. I don't know anyone that carries JLC, so I can never get those. The one that you had, that moon phase you had, that wasn't the Master Ultra Thin Moon, was it? Was it AB?
It was.
Oh, so you have a video on it, right?
I think so. I don't remember, dude.
You actually know it.
JLC.
But you sold this one, right? You sold the moon phase one. Man, that watch was so good, so cool, though. I love that one.
It was a cool watch. I ended up buying another JLC moon phase, just a different watch. But I don't understand the question. If he means like, should we choose between the two, or just what the question was? Said interested to see options on Blancpain. and the JLC Master Ultra Thin. Does he mean like more options in the future from the brand? I think maybe that's what the answer is, and I would agree, but I would love to see refinements on the Master Ultra Thin. Do you remember why I sold that thing, guy?
Didn't you feel like it was too big for like basically
Okay.
a dress watch? Wasn't that one of your big
Yeah,
complaints with it?
the biggest complaint was the logo would basically wash away because it wasn't an applied logo, and the way it was printed was actually not that great. So majority of the time when you're wearing the watch, the crystal has no anti-reflective coating. Hate when brands don't give us anti-reflective coating, but the way they printed the logo was pretty poor, so that I can't see the logo. Now that has nothing to do with being pretentious and wanting the JLC logo to be visible, but basically all I was seeing was a plain white dial and just a moon phase in the bottom, which is initially what made me sell it. I would like to see refinements. The 38 millimeter bathyscaphe, I don't think they could do anything better for the money. I mean, you get 100 hours of power reserve, you get a beautiful movement, you get beautiful watches. But hey, maybe I'm answering the wrong question.
Well, let's go on to the next one here. BB says, so Grand Seiko expanding their market because their watches are clamored for in other areas equals them screwing people. Dumb argument. Was that
Not dumb.
was that your argument? I don't know if that's what I took from it or not. I didn't
Not
think
a
so.
dumb argument, because when a brand promises you something, they better honor it. I don't care if they're expanding their market. No, there's a lot of watches that here in the US, for example, we've wanted that they made limited edition to Europe, limited edition.
Oh, okay. So this was in reference to you talking
Yeah,
about the Four Seasons and how it was supposed to be limited to the US, and then they said, "Oh, this is really popular. Just kidding. We're going to release it everywhere." Yeah, I feel like if a brand is going to say they're selling you exclusivity, then they screw the customers over that bought into that exclusivity. That's a really breach of trust from the
yeah.
brand to the
And
customer,
it's
right?
not a I'm sorry to I'd love to argue about certain things, but this is not a dumb argument. If you promise something, especially if you're such a brand, especially if you're Grand Seiko, who, by the way, the Japanese, like, they're very big on honor. They're very big on, basically everything about Grand Seiko you'll see has everything to do with tradition, honor, and everything. All right. When I promise Guy that I will sell him this water bottle and I will only sell it to him.
No,
And
I've already got one. I'm good.
no, this is a better one. So I'm selling this to only Guy and his family. Now I realized Guy and his family bought it immediately, and I promised Guy, as my friend, I would only sell it to him. And then because I saw them buy it so quickly, I immediately say, you know what, never mind. I'm just gonna sell it to everybody. There's no honor there. I'm sorry. You could create different versions, which is what they tested. By the way, don't think Grand Seiko didn't test this. If you look at the Four Seasons that they created for the US, after its popularity, 2-3 months later, they created a Four Seasons for Europe. Look it up. But guess what? The European versions, for a fact, did not sell like the US version. So that's when they came back and said, you know what? Variety didn't work, so we're just going to have to do this. In my opinion, it's not a dumb argument.
I agree with you. I think that's a shady move. I don't like that they would do something like that. And I'm taking your word for it that they did. Not that I think, you're
Oh
you're
no, it's on record. You know what sucks? That this is not one of those things where ADs promised it. It is on record that this is made for the US, and it is on record that they basically opened it to the public. It's not like Exquisite promised you, for example, a Grand Seiko that's only exclusive to the US, but you didn't hear from the top guys in Grand Seiko. No, this is Grand Seiko who on their website said US exclusive. So we bought into that exclusivity. I bought one of those watches, by the way. And then they opened up the watches to the entire market. What did that do? Prices dropped. Not that that matters, but prices dropped. So the collectors who had the watches that felt like it was special, I'm sorry, if you're an owner of a watch and Grand Seiko did something special for you that held its value and you're proud of it, and then all of a sudden they did something that dropped the value of your watches because they wanted to get greedy, yeah, that would be shady. That would piss me off, quite frankly.
All right, enough about that. Let's move on to this question here from Fellow. He asks, how do you like the new Breitling Super Ocean? And should the old previous model be discontinued? I am not really a fan, and I've only seen them in pictures, so, for what it's worth, I'm not saying it's a bad watch or anything. But design-wise, aesthetics, the look and style, not really a very big fan of the new Super Oceans. I like the old one that has the Arabic numerals that has like a 6, 9, and 12 motif, if I remember correctly. That's my favorite Breitling Super Ocean. The new ones, I don't know. You know what they remind me of a little bit? Just a little bit. They remind me of Zodiac's watches. Those like crazy Zodiac divers that they do, which are cool watches, but like that's not what I expect from Breitling.
I don't know. I don't expect much from Breitling. I don't
Well,
like the Super Ocean, to be honest. I don't like the Super Ocean because for the price, there's other things. Quite frankly, I've been having this conversation a lot lately. Every time I'm forced into a position where I need to recommend the best $5,000 dive watch, I always say the Omega Seamaster.
yeah,
I
sure.
don't know why. I don't say the Black Bay. I don't say the Super Ocean. I don't say any of that. I always just say the Seamaster because out of the hundreds and hundreds of watches that I'm blessed to have handled, I still feel like the Seamaster acquired taste. Okay, but in terms of quality, I'm just talking about pure quality and value for money. I still think the Seamaster is king.
I generally agree with you, except that I like the Tudor Black Bay 58 on the wrist better than I like a Seamaster on the wrist for me and my wrist.
Hmm.
That said, I hate the snowflake hands on the Tudor, but it is what it is. I don't think I could wear um, a standard 42 millimeter Seamaster daily. It's too big for me. Ultimately, it's too big and it's very flat on the back.
Yeah,
It's just not a good fit for my wrist. I think it's a
I think
superior watch to almost anything else.
that's what I was gonna say. It's just a superior I like the quality,
Yeah.
and it fits me really well. It fits so well. I don't know if you've tried the new Seamaster, but it's stupid comfortable. It's stupid comfortable. I don't. I think me and you have the same wrist size, but at least for me, maybe I have weird wrists. I don't know, but it is pretty super comfortable. But I wasn't really talking about fit and feel because if that was the case, then yeah, the Tudor, yes, but not really is comfortable. But in terms of superior quality, what you get for your money, I still haven't found somebody who beats Omega at that price, in my opinion. I might be wrong.
Here's a good one. I'll let you field this one first. What watch is an industry darling but left you unimpressed? Actually, let me guess. I want to guess what I think you're going to say. And then you can field this question. I think you're going to say the Patek Nautilus.
I'm gonna say protect everything. Um, I haven't done a video in a while, so I don't blame anybody from at least my subscribers not knowing this. But I bought like 2 or 3 Pateks in the past year. Like I've experienced a lot of Pateks, not to mention Pateks in my inventory, and I really, really wanted to love them. 5235R, especially the Nautilus. Obviously, I never owned it, but I would say in general, most Pateks that aren't complicated watches have left me unimpressed. But if I had to choose one watch, I would agree with you 100% on the Patek Nautilus, but that is such an obvious thing because I feel like everybody that touches a Nautilus will feel the exact same way. You know,
Right. Yeah.
is it an industry darling? I don't think so. I think it's just an anomaly, and a lot of extremely wealthy people buy it for the flex of it. You know what I mean? If I had to think about an industry darling that I do not like, okay, so I like it. I'm not unimpressed by it, but I'm not extremely impressed by it, and that is the Vacheron Overseas.
Oh, I don't like the overseas at all. I don't know if I would classify that as an industry darling though. Is it? I mean, I guess so. Vacheron kind of is just because people say like, oh, the Holy Trinity, blah blah blah, which I think is a bunch of nonsense personally, and that's just my personal opinion on it. But I don't know anybody. I've never met anybody that was like, I really want to get a Vacheron anything. Period. So like, I don't know if it's a darling or not. I guess it sort of is, but
Okay, so I guess if I change my mind, Look, Rolexes are given, so I'm not even gonna go there because, like, that's just too easy. Do you have one? I'll come back to it. But my answer is the Overseas and the Nautilus. But I want to give one that has recently on
I,
has recently
so
unimpressed.
so mine is, and I don't remember the model number of the original or the reissue, but Seiko reissued the Captain Willard
Hmm.
um, turtle. I guess is it a turtle uh, watch? And everyone went like goo goo gaga over that. And yeah, I don't know. I don't see the attraction to that watch. I'm sorry. I mean, a, it's just like a Seiko turtle for a lot more money. That's what it feels like to me.
Don't be sorry, man. What are you gonna do? No, dude. I'm gonna stick with the Overseas. I do think it's a darling. I do think it's a darling. It's just one that every time I get it, I feel like I want to love it, or I have to love it. But I don't. It the finishing is good. Um, it's just not the best. Obviously, if I can't think of something that recently I've seen that I've wanted to see so bad. You know what? On the lower end side or the mid tier side, I'd say every single tutor, so unimpressive. I'm sorry.
I really like the Black Bay 58, but I wasn't impressed with any other tutors that I've impressed. It's not the right word. I think they're all well made. I just didn't care for the designs or the styles. I
They're
didn't like
okay.
wearing them, but
They're okay, man. They're well made, but they're okay. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. Let's say the Tudor Black Bay 58.
that's fair. That's fair. Let's see. BJ says, I'm thinking about buying one of the two for my next watch. Wondering which one you would choose. Did I miss the first half of this question? One of which
Yes, yes,
two?
yes. This is the question of the JLC and the Blancpain.
Oh, okay. I got you. Sorry. That was like 30
JLC.
that
Yeah.
was like 30 comments in between the two. Okay. Yeah, if it's me, well, I guess it depends. Do you want to kind of divery sports watch, or do you want a somewhat complicated dressy watch? Like they're so different. I couldn't blindly recommend either without knowing the use case. That said, if you wanted a diver, there's divers that I would prefer to suggest or pick over that Blancpain Bathyscaphe.
Hmm.
So I guess I would say the JLC just because I think it's a really beautiful watch, despite AB's complaints with the logo and the printing and stuff. The moon phase aspect of that watch is gorgeous. So that's what I would say.
It is a beautiful watch. I will say that. Um, I the reason I chose the JLC is the Blancpain. I don't know if you've tried it in person. 38 millimeters sounds really good, but in person, it's such a tiny watch. The bezel, the way it is, it makes that watch feel like a 35 mil. You
The
know,
JLC?
no, the Blancpain.
Oh, the
The
Blancpain.
JLC feels like a 41. It has the
Right. Yeah,
opposite.
I was gonna say I thought the JLC was the opposite, where like it wears really very big for the size.
The Blancpain is pretty small. Um,
All right. Well, that is the end of questions from the comment section here. Let me ask you a question, AB, because we haven't talked about this in a long time. This is going to be completely new information to me. I'm not even like trying to egg you on to create an entertaining story or anything. I'm just genuinely curious. What is your watch collection now? I have no idea what you currently have as a watch collection for your personal collection.
oh. Okay. I have more watches on order than I have watches in my collection, but I guess they are in my collection. I have a bunch of watches that I'm ordering, and I probably can't go through all of them. But at the moment, what I own I have a JLC duometre, Quantième Lunaire, limited to 200 pieces. Guy, how about we do this so that way we can give people visuals. Every watch that I mentioned, you can Google it and then we can screen share it.
I can't do the screen sharing thing. I
Just the
tried
other
with.
one.
I haven't set up the permissions yet, and I don't want to go through all of that hassle while I'm also trying to do the stream and conversations and stuff. It might take 5 minutes. I don't know.
I think I can do it.
I
Share
don't think I don't know if you can share screen since you're not the host though.
Oh, yeah, it won't let me. Actually, yeah. Am I sharing something?
You if I add it to the stream, you're sharing the actual stream.
Okay. Then let me get out of this. Stop sharing. I think I can share, but basically, so the first watch is the JLC Duometre. The reason I bought it is because it is actually my favorite JLC. Also, it is essentially, in my opinion, one of the best high horology pieces you could buy at the price. So I think I can show it right here. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
So this is what it is.
Oh man, that's crazy.
So I bought this. It has the photorayon at 6 o'clock without sounding pretentious. That just means 1/6 of a second. You have the time right here, and then you have the moon phase right here. What made me buy this watch is this movement. This movement essentially is made out of German silver, so very similar to Longa. And you have two barrels. So essentially, one barrel is powering the mainspring, then the other barrel is powering all the complications and everything. While this is in fact a moon phase, what it essentially does is it kind of operates like two separate movements. So that kind of fields my sort of well, this is the chrono. It's sort of I want a resonance watch, and this one kind of does it for me. But then there is also the aspect that it is a chronometer watch, even though it's a moon phase. But I'll just do a review on it. It's too long. But anyway, so that's the first watch. And then I have a Longa 1815 Chrono boutique edition. So with the blue numerals, but there's something special about it, which is the thick font. Thick font is still something that very, very few people know about, but I'll talk about that later. Basically, only the first year of when that was created, they had thick font on their numerals, and then they turned it back into the boring, in my opinion, slimmer font.
That reminds me of like back in the day when I'm like, 11 years old, and it was like trying to get a baseball card with an error printed on it. It's like, no, his stats that year was actually a batting average of 317. This is incorrect. And it's like, now this card's worth a ton of money. That's what it sounds like you're doing with this thick font, thin font thing.
Honestly, the only reason I care is because I hope, I mean, look, what guy doesn't hope that would increase the value? I don't think it ever would. The only reason I do is because the thicker font makes it younger. You know, it just looks a lot younger. I could show you, but it's very hard for me to Google and share. But basically, it just looks younger, so I'm able to casually wear it. What else do I have? I have a lot of watches on order. I cannot mention a lot of them, but I'll mention a few. I have a Chopek Antarctique Glacier Blue on order.
Oh, nice.
Okay, that one I cannot mention. I have a Sartori Biard SB05 unique piece that I'm getting. I have a Zin U50 Mother of Pearl that one of my closest friends gifted to me, but I'm not allowed to get it until my wedding day.
Oh yeah, you got engaged a while ago.
Man.
Here's a good question. What is the wedding watch? What are you wearing for the wedding? Have you decided yet?
By default, the Longa. But honestly, I'm banking on the fact that I'll get that Chopek, and then I'll wear that. It has a lot of stories, like very cool stories behind it that it would take us hours for me to talk about.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping maybe that Chopek. I would wear the SB05, the custom that I made, but basically what it is it's a salmon/gray dial with Arabic numerals. So I think that would look, it's a cool watch, but way too gaudy for a suit. What else do I have on order? I have a Ming that I forgot that I ordered, to be honest. It's the GMT. The reason
That's
I forgot is anybody who orders Ming will know what crappy people they are right now, to be honest.
just what? Because dealing with their customer service, or what's the problem?
Dude, they released there's people who haven't gotten their watches since 5 releases ago.
Oh man.
Like they just keep releasing new watches, and still, I have a lot of friends who still haven't gotten their watches from 5 releases ago. Like that's insane.
Yeah,
You know,
that's awful.
some people are receiving their new watches from new collections, and the people who ordered from old collections still haven't received it. But anyway, that's a rant on its own. Actually, Federico kind of covered most of my points somewhat. So if you want to hear him yell about it, I'm not going to yell about it, but that's basically what it is. In my collection right now, I have way too many watches on order, but what I have currently with me is I had a Seamaster 3861 that I sold without even de-stickering it, to be honest.
You never even wore it?
No, I don't know why. And then I have the Longa de Duometra, and then so many things on order, which I'll reveal eventually. They're cool pieces, but I'll reveal eventually.
I think you should do a collection review video, not individual like full reviews of each watches, but just like here's 60 seconds this watch, here's 60 seconds of this watch. I think that would be cool.
I think so. I think okay, here's my final answer. I'll answer this question on January.
January? Okay. I mean that's a while away, but fair enough. Here's a good question from Adam Smith. What would be more impactful, passing down your daily wearer or passing down your most expensive watch? I would have to say it's your daily watch, right? The watch that whether it's your son or your daughter or whoever you're passing it down to, like the watch they saw you wear all the time. That's got to be more impactful, right? Regardless of what the value of the watch is. It's all passing anything down is all about sentimental value, right? So,
Dude, most expensive watch.
unless
That's
you
impactful.
unless you're no, I mean, unless you're like gonna pass down a really expensive watch and it's gonna be like, and this will get you through college or this will buy you your first home. Maybe that would be more
Okay, yeah,
impactful.
maybe that's more meaningful, but I mean, like, just passing down, I'm not raising my kids like that. I'm like, nah, bro, I worked hard to get this. I'll pass down like some cool stuff, but something like, let's say, one of my most expensive watches, it would be impactful because it wouldn't feel good, because I want at least my kids to work hard for what they get, and
With
maybe in the future, if they've worked so hard and completely failed, then I'll just hand it over, because I know they've tried. But
well, you do realize that at some point, you, me, everybody else, we're not gonna be here anymore. So like, you got to do something has to happen with that with all your watches, and
I'll
you're
give
not
it
gonna.
to you, man. No, I'll hand it. I mean, at that point, the question makes no sense, because if I'm dead, then
But I don't
then
think
what
it means
hurt?
I don't think it means impactful to you. I think it means
Yeah.
impactful to the person you're passing it on to. But
No, I think if I give my most expensive watch, that loser will go spend it and get the money. I think
I'm
if I
gonna
give him my daily wear that he can't sell.
I'm gonna clip that section of the video. And 20 years from now, when you have an 18-year-old child, I'm gonna be like, your father called you a loser before you were even born.
Bro, if he turns into a loser, I'm welding an MVMT on his wrist. You ain't but no, I think yeah, it's a hard question. Impactful, it depends.
Oh
If
wait, all right, we're getting a modification to that. He says I should have said daily wear or special occasion watch, AB's wedding watch in this case. So slight modification, not necessarily your most expensive watch, but
okay.
your most special occasion watch, if you will. In either way, I think that, or in either case, I think that it's still for me the same answer. I think the daily
Same
wear,
answer for me too.
yeah.
Same answer.
Well, I think we've been going at this for about an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got stuff to do this evening, and I still need to get dinner. So, yeah, why don't we wrap this one up today? Fellow says, have to go, guys. Thanks for the great broadcast. Have a nice evening. So if he's leaving, I think we should probably leave too.
Yeah, fellow's gone then.
That's
Escudo's
it.
full
We're
life.
done. Thanks to everybody that came and watched the live stream. I know we had I don't know, a couple, 3-4 dozen people at one point, which considering we haven't done this in quite a long time, I'm not at all disappointed with. Of course, thank you to you, AB, for coming on with me. I absolutely hate doing this without you, so really means a lot to me. I appreciate it, buddy. If you have any final words for anybody, feel free to take the floor.
Yeah, no, thanks everybody. I know honestly we probably didn't deserve a lot of viewers because we haven't done this in a while. You know, I've been personally very inconsistent. I apologize for that, but I do have a lot of things that's coming that should hopefully make up for it. But in general, these live streams, I want to do them more because they really do. Um, they're really good for me personally because it's a nice way to unwind and really speak my mind. You know, Guy is really good at getting it out of me, you know, which is both a really good thing and a bad thing. So, you know, make sure you're subscribed to Guy's channel if you came from my channel, and you know, I promise I'll try my best to do more of these live streams, more structured. I promise.
Cool. Yeah, likewise, I have in the description of this video a link to AB's channel, so go subscribe to him if you're not. I'm sure everybody that's here already is because everybody knows you, so it's probably no point for me to even mention it, but just in case. And yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. So thanks a lot, and until the next one, take care, and bye now.